Hello friends, welcome you all to another video, and today we are going to start with the last chapter, that is unit number 3, novels. And actually I thought that to start with the Sula, which was written by Toni Morrison, but actually it was a very big novel, not so much big, but it has a 300 pages. So therefore I thought that to go for a short novella, that is the Old Man and the Sea, which was written by Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was one of the most famous short story writer, and now there is no need to know about his life and his career and his literary work of art. So let's start with this novel, and first we are going to start with the characters of this novel. So this novel is a short novel, and it has only 4 characters which you can see on your screen. So the first is the Santiago. So the Santiago is the main protagonist of this novel. He is the old man, as mentioned in the title of this novel. The old man of this novella. The Santiago is a Cuban fisherman who has had an extended run of bad luck. Despite his expertise, he has been unable to catch a fish for 85 days. He is humble. It exhibits a justified pride in his abilities. His knowledge of the sea and its creatures and of his craft is unparalleled and helps him preserve a sense of hope regardless of circumstance. Throughout his life, Santiago has been presented with contents to test his strength and endurance. The marlin, with which he struggles for 3 days, represented his greatest challenge. Paradoxically, although Santiago ultimately loses the fish, the marlin is also his greatest victory. So the next character, that is the fish, the bigger fish. It is a bigger than a dolphin fish, and it is smaller than the shark, or it is equivalent to the shark. Okay, but it is not like a whale fish, because whale is a bigger fish. The most bigger fish is whale. So the marlin is maybe is like a shark, or more than a shark. So the marlin, a fish, is another character who is another, we can say, the antagonist also, because the fighting between the Santiago and the marlin for the 3 days, it is depicted in this novel. So Santiago hooks the marlin, which we learn at the end of the novella, measures 18 feet. On the first afternoon of his fishing expedition, because of the marlin's great size, Santiago is unable to pull the fish in, and the two became engaged in a kind of tug of war that often seems more like an alliance than a struggle. The fishing line serves as a symbol of the fraternal connection Santiago feels with the fish. When the captured marlin is later destroyed by sharks, Santiago feels destroyed as well. Like Santiago, the marlin is implicitly compared to Christ. Next character is a small boy who always works with Santiago, that is the Manolin, a boy presumably in his adolescence. Manolin is Santiago's apprentice and devoted attendant. The old man first took him out on a boat when he was merely 5 years old. Due to Santiago's recent bad luck, Manolin's parents have forced the boy to go out on a different fishing boat. Manolin, however, still cares deeply for the old man, to whom he continues to look as a mentor. His love for Santiago is unmistakable, and the two discusses baseball, and the young boy recruits help from villagers to improve the old man's improvement conditions. And the last character is Joe DiMaggio. Although DiMaggio never appears in the novel, He plays a significant role nonetheless. Santiago worships him as a model of strength and commitment, and his thoughts turn towards DiMaggio whenever he needs to reassure himself for his own strength. Despite painful bone spur that might have crippled another player, DiMaggio went on to secure a triumphant career. He was the center fielder of the New York Yankees from 1936 to 1951 and is often considered the best all-round player ever at that position. Next character which I have not written on the here in your presentation, that is the Perico. So these are the smaller characters, Perico and Martin. So Perico, the reader assumes, owns the bodega in Santiago's village. He never appears in the novel, but he serves an important role in the fisherman's life by providing him with the newspapers that report the baseball scores. This act establishes him as a kind man who helps the aging Santiago. And the last one is the Martin, like Perico. Martin, a cafe owner in Santiago's village, does not appear in the story. The reader learns of him through Manolin, who often goes to Martin for Santiago's support or supper. And the old man says, Martin is the man of frequent kindness who deserves to be repaid. And my friends, let's start with the summary. So it has a 5 to 6 days, and one day is the first summary which we are going to end today, complete today, and from tomorrow we are going to complete the summary of day 2 and day 3, or maybe day 4 also. So let's start with the day 1 summary. So from Santiago's return from the 84th consecutive day without catching a fish to his dream of lions on the beach. He only dreamed of places now and of the lions on the beach. They played like young cats in the dusk, and he loved them as he loved the boy. Santiago, an old fisherman, has gone 84 days without catching a fish. For the first 40 days, a boy named Manolin had fished with him. But Manolin's parents, who call Santiago Salo, or the worst form of unlucky, force Manolin to leave him in order to work in a more prosperous boat. The old man is wrinkled, splotched, and scarred for handling heavy fish on cords, but his eyes, which are the color of the sea, remain cheerful and undefeated. Having made some money with the successful fisherman, the boy offers to return to Santiago's skiff, reminding him of their previous 87-day run of bad luck, which culminated in their catching big fish every day for 3 weeks. He talks with the old man, and they haul in Santiago's fishing gear and lament that he was forced to obey his father, who lacks faith and as a result made him switch boats. The pair stops for a beer at a terrace cafe where fishermen make a fun of Santiago. The old man does not mind. Santiago and Manolin reminiscence about the many years the two of them fished together, and the boy begged the old man to let him provide fresh bait fish for him. The old man accepts the gift with humility. Santiago announces his plans to go far out in the sea the following day. Manolin and Santiago haul the gear to the old man's shack, which is furnished with nothing more than the barest necessities, a bed, a table, and a chair, and a place to cook. On the wall are two pictures, one of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and one of the Virgin of Couvre, the patroness of Cuba. The old man has taken down the photograph of his wife, which made him feel too lonely. The two go through their usual dinner ritual, in which the boy asks Santiago what he is going to eat, and the old man replies, yellow rice with fish. and then offers some to the boy. The boy declines and is offered to start. The old man's fire is rejected. In reality, there is no food. Excited to read the baseball scores, Santiago pulls out a newspaper, which he says was given to him by Perico at the bodega. Manolin goes to the get the bedfish and returns with some dinner as well, a gift from Martin, the cafe owner. The old man is moved by Martin's thoughtfulness and promises to repay the kindness. Manolin and Santiago discuss baseball. Santiago is a huge admirer of the great DiMaggio, whose father was a fisherman. After discussing with the Santiago the greatest ball players and the greatest baseball managers, the boy declared that Santiago is the greatest fisherman. There are many good fishermen and some good ones, but there is only you. Finally, the boy leaves, and the old man goes to sleep. He dreams his sweet, recurring dream of lions playing on the white beaches of Africa, a scene he saw from his ship when he was a very young man. So, guys, here we have finished our lecture, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.